Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg, joined today from the Department of Trade Consumer Protection. It is Michael, he's back, and we're going to be talking about back-to-school sales and scams. And yes, it's a little early, but then I said my wife just went school shopping for my little one, so back to school, here we go.
It is that time.
Crazy. So as we look at this, and then looking at sales and scams specifically here, as my example to you was, if you wait and procrastinate, then you become desperate to get the school supplies. And I feel like we're a nation in some ways. Jeremy's opinion, and Jeremy is one of these, being a little lazy and not getting out there right away. So you put yourself out there.
You do, and I was surprised as we were talking through, how many consumers do start their school shopping right now. And you had a good point of if you want to get it, you want to get it early, so you make sure that you have it, and certainly that's needed. What we want to talk about is as you get into that and you start looking at, where are the deals and how you're going to find those, is understanding how the scams are taking advantage of this school supply shopping time. And one of the biggest ways that they're scamming is creating fake websites of known retailers.
Yeah.
And so the often places, or the common places that you would go to get your school supplies, they will mimic those. And where they're really pitching them, they're sending them through phone texts and emails, but then also on social media. And I would say a good portion of our complaints that we receive in regards to fake websites are generated through social media posts and ads that are going into their feeds. And so what we want to do is, say if you see something that's being promoted in that feed, don't click on that link, and follow that to that website. If it's at, a big box retailer that you normally shop at, just go directly to their website and then see if you can find that same sale. If you can't, then clearly there's a red flag. But just being cautious on how you're getting to where you're going to buy those goods.
It's interesting. I read into one of these specifically, saw something on social media, and then I jumped over to the actual store and was reading through the kind of their synopsis of scams. And some of these, they spell it out for you on the website. This is exactly what the scam is, what they're looking for. So I'd encourage you to check that out if you're ever on your big box store, your bigger stores. They actually lay out some of the exact scams that are happening. It was very interesting. So I throw that out there as advice. But social media is it's so easy. They're like, oh, it's a good reminder. Like, oh yeah, school shopping. And this is like, and then the red flag started. Wow, this is a really great deal. I can get like 10 extra pencils for free? Count me in, Michael. Right?
And the hard part is you don't know what some of those might be real promotions, and some of those are just the bait to get you to pull in, which is why we definitely are saying, hey, go to where you know you can go. The other part that we're talking about is if you're going to go, so, you take that step. You go to the retailer you're going to go, and you're like, I shop here all the time. We have our Amazons and our Targets and our Walmarts, and you think, I was just here yesterday, but all of a sudden you're continually getting logged out. Some people think it's a technical error, but in reality, that might actually be the fact that they're on a fake website because they're logging in. You're like, why am I not staying in? And we don't often think about that. The other two things I want to tie in real quick is interesting, and you talked about a variation, and sometimes these stores do a great job of what we're talking about with changing, and they're called keyloggers. So for me, I go to a new website, we talked about it, and it's like, man, you're thinking, do I really want to push the submit button and then really give them everything? But you may not realize you may have given them all to them already.
Yeah.
And with keyloggers, they're tracking you as you go through each one of those stages and pages and entering information. So you don't even have to click submit. The fact that you enter that number, it's already there, which is why it's so important that you make sure you're on a trusted site.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I think if you were to take one piece of key information here is verify that you're on the actual place you're making that purchase, because you just don't know anymore. And it's so sad to say that, but man, it just is so frustrating.
It is. You just got to be a little bit more diligent.
All right. How about some wheeling and dealing? So if you do want to compare, or if you want to find the best deals, don't strain yourself over this. Use some common sense, I would say, and compare. I mean, that's the best way to do it.
It is. Do your comparative shopping, and when you're doing so, looking at when they apply. We see these sales are for a time period because they have to be. If you're going to have these promotions, there are certain requirements in Wisconsin that say an advertisement needs to have certain things, and so making sure you're checking those. And then also recognizing, are some of them in-store only? Are they online only? Retailers are allowed to do that, so you need to pay attention where you're going and what you're shopping for, and shop around. That's how you're going to get the best deal. then you figure out where you want to go. And maybe it's a little extra driving here and there, but might save you quite a bit of money if you got a lot of kiddos that you got to buy a lot of supplies for.
Well, you got to plan ahead too. I think that's the best part of doing a little bit of comparison shopping too. If you can kind of spread it out and say, oh, well, man, we got to visit over here. Maybe there'll be an in-store deal here because I'm already here. Whatever. I mean, you got to do it. Double check too when you hit that checkout lane or whatever you're doing online. Verify that you actually got the deal, because that is a bummer.
Right. If you got an opportunity while they're checking you out to kind of watch as it goes through, check it to make sure it's right where it should be, and then look at that receipt afterwards. And what we want to really emphasize heavily here is oftentimes it's just a mistake. It's not the retailer trying to scam the consumer. There's so many things that go on sale, and there's so many things in those ads that it's possibly just got missed. And so give them the benefit of the doubt and say, hey, could you correct this for me right there while you're at the cashier's desk? Oftentimes they will. If they say they don't have the ability to, or there's a problem, or maybe they outright refuse, you do have options. They are required to give that lowest advertised price, and if they just refuse to do so, then you can file a complaint with us at the Bureau of Consumer Protection. We also have our sister bureau in Weights and Measures, where they go through and they check the accuracy of these scanners and making sure that it is doing exactly what we're talking about. So you're really double protected if something like this were to happen.
Yeah, it's definitely awesome. I mean, glad to have you guys in our back pocket. Let's just put it that way. I mean, you're always there, even if you're not there physically, you're there. If people do want to learn more about staying safe this shopping season for back to school, or just have questions or concerns, how can they find you?
Please visit our website at datcp.wi.gov, or you can give us a call at 1-800-422-7128.
What was your favorite school supplies, like the must-have? Like you're like, I just gotta have this every time.
The cool eraser tops that always, not the troll ones, but they always had like airplanes or tanks or something that always went on the top.
I always wanted like the latest organizer thing, but never like really utilize it. But just like, oh my god, it's got like 3 rings in it. It's got a little calculator. Yeah, stupid.
And since you were talking, you gave me an opportunity. I'm gonna have one more. The cool Trapper Keeper.
Oh, yes.
The coolest Trapper Keeper design.
All right. Well, Michael, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. We'll catch you next month.
I'll be here. Thanks.